morning everyone. Now let's talk about the situation in international financial markets. The best way to describe markets right now is they are nervous. While US markets closed yesterday quite unchanged and flat, but Nasdaq was down as Alphabet beat its estimate, and Alphabet is tech heavy company, it is a parent company of Google, and since it meets its estimate and Alphabet is Nasdaq is mostly tech heavy stocks, so that's why Nasdaq was down. But in today Asian markets are down as they are nervous before the Fed meeting, but Indian markets has beaten a trend and they are up. In fact, Sensex has gone above 40,000 mark and it is beating the estimates mainly due to the good earnings report and hopes that government will come up with new measures specifically related to stock market, as there is hope that there will be tax exemptions and tax changes related to stock short-term gains and long-term gains, and that has given boost to the markets. Well, if we talk about international markets, we can say they are nervous because of two reasons. One, because of Fed meetings, and second, there are reports that US-China trade talks might be delayed. Like they are saying that this deal won't happen at the time they are scheduled. Previously, it was reported that the deal might happen before the time, but now it is being expected that the deal may happen in the delay. And in China, when China and US will meet in Chile in November, they might not finalize the deal. And all this means there will be more time for the deal, but that doesn't mean deal is off the table. It just means more time is required to finalize it. While at the same time, previously it was reported that the talks are going well and the US might in fact reduce the further tariff exemptions, and that was taken quite positively by the markets. But few days back it was reported that now yesterday we got a signal that the deal will not happen at the time. So this is giving mixed signals, and that's why market is quite nervous. While if you talk about deal, it says to cover US agriculture products, currency practices, intellectual property rights are being taken to be the part of deal. But experts are saying that even after this deal, the situation will be just as it was before the trade war started. So no progress has been made. But that is first step. And next step and second and third step. If it happens, let's say in this January and February, then we might see anything positive outcome out of it. But it's too early to comment about that anyway. Now second thing, which has finally taken a break on a deadlock, is the British elections. One thing, Britain got extension for exiting the UK till 31st Jan, so they are safe from that side. And now secondly, they were concerned about if there will be elections or not. Boris Johnson tried again and again for elections, and every time he was rejected. Previously, Johnson asked for elections, but his proposal was rejected as 2/3 majority was required and it didn't have it. Now, there was reports that Johnson might try to amend this bill where 2/3 majority is required. But he again presented his bill for elections and finally it got approved. And now there will be elections on next Jan. In fact, elections will be on 12th December. And it is being expected by the polls that Johnson might win this time with better situation. But opposition is still confident that they might get a deal and they might get better outcome and win. If opposition win, we might see another referendum in the coming, or maybe the Brexit will be over. But if Boris Johnson wins by quite a good amount, then there's quite a chance that deal will be passed and Britain will leave Europe with good deal. All in all, situation of no deal Brexit is far, in fact it's like getting faded. But still, there is quite uncertainty and that is being played in the mind of investors. But all in all, we can say Brexit has been factored into most of the extent, so not much movement can be seen on the market related to Brexit. But same can't be said about US-China trade talks, as any new day we are seeing new developments. But today, markets are focusing mainly on US-China trade talks and Fed meeting. There is 94% probability that Fed will reduce the interest rates, and that can take the prices of precious metals above 1500, because lower interest rates will lower the opportunity cost of gold and that will make more attractive to the investors. Now, if there will be reduction in interest rates, it said besides this, people are also looking for what's the political stance of people ahead, as Fed is not expected to cut the interest rates again in December. Previously, there was 70% probability of another rate cut in December, but now that probability is reduced to 30%, as the situations are improving in US-China front and maybe economy may also start to improve. Now, it is also being noted that because of this, US Treasury is again above 1.8%, means it's quite normal range, and few months back it was 1.5, and then it had fear, but now it has gone up. And if US trade talks improve, things might improve and Fed might not have to reduce the interest rates again. But today, it is highly expected that rates will be reduced. But people are also looking for the stance and how optimistic or pessimistic is Fed. If we talk about oil, we can see that oil markets are now trading today in the range, but they went up in the last week after the reports of optimism around US trade talks, but now the talks has been confusing. Secondly, there was again reported of increase in the inventory, and that is again impacting the minds of investors and traders, and that's why oil prices are down. If we talk about the base metals, even same trend is being observed in the base metals, and price of base metals have fallen again due to US-China trade talks, and they may be delayed. If US-China trade talks are impacting the global economy the most, and due to slowdown in economy, the production, manufacturing activity has fallen, and as a result, base metals are being less in demand. Now, if there is a positive talk on US-China trade war, then there is a potential that in some time gradually economic condition will improve, and that can lead to an increase in demand of metals, which in turn can lead to increase in the prices. And if we talk about currencies, well, rupee today opened with a loss of 6 paise at 70.9 against dollar, while yesterday it closed at 70.84. Optimism around trade talks, which was there yesterday, and hope of rate cut by Fed kept the market upbeat, and we also witnessed FIIs were net buyers and infused 876 crore in Indian markets yesterday. Even though dollar index was up yesterday, but all those stocks helped the Indian markets, and even Indian markets were quite good. And today, Sensex has moved above 40,000 mark. In fact, and Nifty also went above 11,800 mark, and it's quite close. Maybe in a day or two, it can touch 12,000 mark if the rally continues. But one sector which is being facing pressure is the automobile, is the telecom sector, as after the order by Supreme Court, the definition of adjusted gross revenue has been expanded, and now it also includes non-core income. Since cost of spectrum, cost of license is being calculated as a percentage of this gross revenue, and if gross revenue increase, it basically means there will be a higher cost, and that is being impacted in the market, and which can lead to fall and loss of the value, as more than 1 lakh crore is being expected to increase in pay by Vodafone and Idea after this new decision. So all this is impacting the stock market, but Indian markets are up, global markets are down, and overall market is nervous and in say cautious before the Fed meeting. That's it for right now. If you like the video, click like button. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, and for more videos like this, stay with us.
आपको अगर हमारा वीडियो पसंद आया है तो इसे लाइक करें, साथ ही YouTube चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और मोर अपडेट्स जानने के लिए बेल आइकन को दबाना न भूलें।